What it do, homies? We're back with some more Petr Sarancha. This time we are checking out Lost in the Void. Now, he done already messed up by calling this Lost in the Void, right? He done messed up because now you done gave me a sense that destruction is about to drop on my head. Lost in the Void, myself? You about to give us... All right. Let's go ahead, shut up, turn it up. Okay, hold on, run this back. So, yo, the one thing that I love about this style of beatbox now, right? Because they kind of been in this type of era for like maybe the last year or 2 years. It's definitely newish, right? As far as, you know, post effects, right, being added, and not sound post effects, just effects like reverb and stuff like that. The amount of careful reverb that you would need to do for something like this is kind of crazy, right? Because I imagine, and the reason why is because I imagine as you're recording this is all going through on one track, right? We don't have like separate layers here. So that means whenever you are giving us that boo, those notes and everything, you can kind of hear how much reverb is put on that. You don't want to put that same amount of reverb on like bass elements of the track, right? Which is it'd be just, you know, the kick for the most part. Any type of bass, you could put it, but it clashes a lot, especially if we're talking about audio clarity and everything. So I don't hear it that much on the bass. And even if you did hear it, it's okay to put it there. It just needs to sound like it's in the same space for the most part, so it doesn't sound too far away. But you got to carefully put it there. So as I'm listening to where there's like a huge amount of reverb, but then it's like dialed back. That's crazy. That's crazy from just an audio listening standpoint. And the percussion is just so crisp. Come on now. You know what? He might have the same reverb. It might be on an entire track. It might just be, and because of the higher pitch, obviously it sounds like there's more reverb because the pitch is higher. Okay. The layered snare and the clap adds character. Nice little sub drop there. So when he gave us that, he gave us two reverbs. The first time he did a reverb, he didn't leave nothing on the tail end of it. Then the second time he gave it to us, man, that's variety right there, right? Where if you're going to do something, especially when it comes to percussion, you don't want it to be too complicated, right? It needs to serve as the foundation, needs to serve as the groove. So while you can throw some stuff in there, you know, let your creativity be within the sounds that you're putting, like do the sound base or whatnot, but don't change too much of percussion. But with that being said, once that groove is already there, you're able to throw stuff in there without losing the groove. So that reverb, if he had introduced that too early, that would have kind of thrown us off, but the groove is settled. It's established now. So when he gave us that reverb, I think he gave it to us once, and then he brought it back, and then he added a nice little distorted end right there. Come on, man. It's clean, bro. It's too clean. Like, what are we doing here? how he's taking. See, this is one of the reasons why I like Loop Station. Even though with Loop Station, you obviously have access to, you know, a whole lot more changing parameters and everything. But I love how they kind of take the sound, a sound that they put in, instead of coming out with new sounds, they just put more effects and stuff on the sound that they already put in there, and then you get something super different. When it comes to beatboxing, right? Obviously, as you're beatboxing, you know, you're limited to whatever vocals you can, you know, output, and you got to get creative with it. So whenever you're giving us like some type of lead or some type of motif that's going to be repeated throughout the track, you don't want to give it to us all at once, right? But still, you want it to be somewhat melodic sounding, you know what I mean, to get across the idea. So when you expand upon it later on, like, you see how much more he's adding to that, all these little mid kind of stabs and sounds that he's putting in there to fully flesh this out, right? But if you go back, it still kind of sounded fully at the beginning, right? That song composition thing, that's the difficult part. Right. I know it's easy to kind of get caught up in the final output of these things. But once you start kind of like really breaking it down, you see all the work and stuff that's going into producing something like this. Now, I need to see who's responsible for this mix if you have it down here. So right here, my Vage or Vage for sound processing. Yeah, big shout out, dude, because that's really, that's destroying me right now. The sound processing is crazy what you got going on here. I would love, it probably won't happen, but I would love to see what your project look like for this. Delay. The mix. Come on. Now, we're not getting lost in the void here. No, I'm exactly where I want to be, right? I left. That's why I'm here. You think I'm lost, but I'm grooving out here. The mix is crazy, bro. You didn't put the percussion at the top shelf on that. It's, God, yeah, I think you're doing a disservice if you're listening to this without any type of headphones, right? Because the processing is going absolutely crazy. And the space in the pocket, which you have created for all of this to sit in, right? Reverse. Nah, that was clean. This is clean. And I like to, I love this era that the beatboxers are in, right? Adding in process effects and everything. And I've been here, you know, I've been reacting to, how long has it been? I think I've been reacting to beatbox stuff for just about 5 years, you know, probably not nearly as long as some of your favorite reactors that react to beatbox. I've only been here for 4 years, but I was here before all the sound processing. So I am fully aware of what these beatboxers are capable of without the sound processing. And I think that processing just kind of comes in and fully fleshes out an idea. You know what I mean? It's like taking your idea from 2D and then kind of realizing it in 3D. You know what I mean? So you're starting to see stuff to the left and starting to see stuff to the right that you would normally see. It's still the same. It's still the same production. It just has a nice little fresh take on it that allows you to perceive it and enjoy it even more. As a matter of fact, it'd be pretty cool. This would be a pretty cool thing. And this is why I was kind of asking about what that processing looks like. This is not digital. I mean, well, I guess you're recording into it, like it's real audio that you're recording into. But I'm wondering, what does that look like? Do you separate the stems? Because I think you would need to if you want to individually process and mix this stuff, unless you got some crazy automations going on. I imagine you're using some type of stem splitter technology, to stem the bass from the percussion. You know what I mean? From the kick to snare and all that type of stuff to make that sound so unique. And the funny thing about it is that it didn't really hit me until now. You know what I mean? Like, dang, what does that look like? What does it look like? But anyways, I could talk about the technicality of stuff. Musically, we already knew that was about to be fire. Let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comments. Dave's out.